Running ultramarathons has allowed me to explore my limits in so many incredible and inspiring places around the globe. From the peaks of Andorra to the depths of the Copper Canyon, to glacial valleys of China and more, I'm continually drawn to these equally brutal and breathtaking experiences.
What the?
We're now bringing that same sense of wonder and adventure to my home state, with a route across the heart of central Arizona's most historic towns, desert canyons, and mountain landscapes. In 2019, I scouted over 200 miles of the Cocodona route with my good friend, Anthony Culpepper. This is that story.
Yeah, the Granite Dells are so interesting. It doesn't really seem real sometimes with the lake and the rocks right there. It looks very out of place, but that's just Prescott in general. It's so diverse. There's grasslands and then the rocks and the lakes and then the pines right behind it. So I've done them a ton of times, so I don't know for me if it was as big of an impact as I think it'll be for people that have never visited the area before. But really stoked to have it part of the route. It's just like no other area on the course.
Hey, we are starting out day 3 here, going through the Granite Dells. One of the coolest sections of the course, I think. Bunch of slick rock. It's not super long, but just enough to be fun. Came up a bit short on mileage last night, so we're hoping for a bigger day today. There should be some nice runnable sections coming up ahead through Prescott Valley.
I mean, honestly, I think both Jamil and I were dragging pretty hard that morning, just to get going. But you know, it's not hard to get going when that's like the first thing that you're doing for the day. So. Yeah, it's going to be runners' first opportunity to you know, make up time if they need to. You know, for folks who are really trying to compete, that's going to be a section where you can lay some speed down if you need to. I think really for us, you know, you're meandering through that really complex terrain there of the Granite Dells, and everything just really opens up into Prescott Valley. And so you have this like straight shot across to Mingus Mountain.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Crossing Mingus that day, we had to take about we didn't have to, but we ended up taking a 45-minute stop before we started the Mingus climb after Fain Ranch. We had my friend Michael Versteeg joined us there. My son came out there to help start crewing at that point, and it was this epic storm that came through. It was, I think, hailing at one moment, so we hopped in Michael's van, and I think we were drinking Tecate with lime and salt, just all like huddled in there in the middle seat, which was a great memory. Yeah, the three of us set off to climb up Mingus.
It's a bit of a grind going up, for sure. I mean, overall the trails are really, you know, in relative terms, really cushy going up, but it's still a big grind regardless. Like, I mean, you are, you know, pretty constantly going up from pretty much that spot all the way to the summit, and then, you know, as soon as you go up, you're dropping down towards Jerome.
Man, it's tough. Some tough miles. Definitely feeling fatigued. I think currently in the last, well, let's see, it's Wednesday, in the last 5 days so far, I've done 130 miles. We've got probably 20 more to do today. Be 150, and see what happens next 2 days.
Our crew met us up at the top at the viewpoint, which is just an incredible spot on the course. And it kind of divides the first and second half of the route. You know, the Black Hills are this big wall that you're looking out at ever since the top of Crown King, and then you cross the big valley and get up and over it. And then from there, below you is the Verde Valley and the Red Rocks of Sedona, and then Flagstaff itself. So it's this pivotal moment, and we took a nice long break up there. I think we had some really great burritos that got brought up to us, and then our next goal was to make it to Jerome before sunset. Yeah, the road into Jerome is long. It's very long. You can see the town, and then you take a hard turn and go deep into a fold of a canyon, and then you come back out and you see the town again, and it's like right there, and then you go back again, and it just keeps happening over and over and over again.
Jerome is one of the historic mining communities in Arizona. So copper mining was the big game there. So there is an open pit there in Jerome, and so that was actually, I'm not sure exactly when mining stopped there, but sometime in the mid to sort of latter part of the 20th century, like 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, probably sometime in that time frame. But and so Jerome itself was pretty much a ghost town throughout like the 70s, 80s. There was sort of a hippie commune kind of artistic community that was developing there. And so, now Jerome it's a little touristy for sure, but that artist community, that alternative community is still there. And just aesthetically, while it's very beautiful, from an aesthetic standpoint, even the historic architecture there, it's a little rough, but like not in like in a very negative way. It's just part of like the history of what it is.
But actually getting into Jerome was so great. It's such a cool town, and it's definitely a highlight of the trip is running up and over Mingus through Jerome and then leaving Jerome. There was another locked gate fence, but this one was, I think, might have had barbed wire on the top, and there was no way we were hopping this one and getting through.